Hello art friends, welcome back to Paperlicious Designs. Melisa here. So I try to mix things up a little here and there and try new things in my art journal. Sometimes I try different background techniques or different color schemes. And today I'm doing both. I love the bright colors of this one. I'm also going to share my experience with printing on tissue paper and tell you how I fixed a little issue with printing my florals. So grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and let's get started. Today I'm going to show you how to stamp with your stencils. This is a simple technique that gives you a great look. First, you need to smear some distress ink on a piece of wax paper. You can also smear it on glass, plastic, whatever surface you like. Spray it with water, press your stencil into the ink, lift it, and then stamp with it on your background. And then you just repeat until you're satisfied. The colors I'm using today are mustard seed and picked raspberry. And the stencils I'm using today are vintage quarter foil and modern pattern 3 by Shawn Petite. And a little later in the video, I'll be using two of Shawn's newer stencils, Little Flower Status or Statusy and Little Flowers Baby's Breath. I love the prints that you get by stamping both of these stencils. They look really great together. So the next thing I did was try printing the florals on some tissue paper. I've done this technique with my old printer and it worked out great, but with my new printer, it just kind of dumped some black ink around the edges. So I'm not really sure if this is something I want to try again in the future, but we'll see. The florals didn't really end up standing out that well on this background anyways, and I ended up covering them up. But if you like these florals, I'll tell you that they are from the Journey collage pack. So in the foreground, I'm going to use florals from the Sacred and Ordinary collage pack on the left and from the Wonder collage pack on the right. I'll be using the Love Always Wins stencil for my title and a free printable from Shawn's resource library for my journaling. Later I'll share with you how you can get these free printables, a 20% discount off your first order, and free videos from Shawn. So I wanted to show you what the pages looked like that I cut the florals from. This first one is from the Collage Pack Wonder and the florals are facing toward the left. The florals on the next printable are from the Sacred and Ordinary collage pack, and the two pink florals along the right side of the page are facing left as well, but I was putting them on the left page and needed them facing right. So I fixed this using the photo program that came with my computer, no fancy programs. I went into the file, double-clicked on the image, clicked the Edit and Create button, and then I got a drop-down. I clicked the Edit button again, and then I was able to select the flip setting. So it flipped the image and then I printed. So here I'm going to use the Little Flower TC or Status, whichever one it is, and just kind of add some more color in the background. This is Liquitex Cadmium Oxide Green. And I'm using the Liquitex Medium Magenta for what I think is the little floral tips. So I did Google it to see what type of flowers these are, and it says it's a long-lasting annual with sturdy stems and compact, colorful blooms that are deer resistant. So in reality, it's actually a lavender color, and the nickname for it is sea lavender. But hey, in art journaling, there are no rules, so we can make our flowers any color we like. Now, because it's a stencil, there are those little gaps in the stem, and I always go back with a pencil or a paintbrush in the paint and fill those gaps in so that it's solid lines for the stems. On the right page, I'm using the Little Flowers Baby's Breath stencil. I started out by pouncing some pink paint where I thought the little blooms were on the stencil. But after doing that a couple of times, I kind of got tired of doing it and decided if I made the whole thing green, that would look great in the background as kind of a filler. Then I hop back over to the left page and used that same baby's breath stencil and did the same thing on that side. So if you do want access to Shawn's free printables, a 20% discount, and some additional free videos that she hasn't posted on her YouTube channel, you can hop over to her main page at ShawnPetite.com, scroll down to the section where you can sign up to receive her newsletter. It's just a weekly newsletter. You can unsubscribe at any time. And the resource library password is protected, and she changes it periodically. She gives you the password in the newsletter. So keep watch for that in the newsletter. And then I hopped back over to the right page and added a little more green. And you know, none of my backgrounds would be complete if I didn't pounce on a little gesso to knock it back a little bit. Now, as far as the floral printables from the collage packs, you do need to keep in mind when purchasing the collage packs that the clarity varies because some of the images are from really old books and the type of illustrations in the books vary. But I can tell you, getting rid of my 15-year-old printer and using photo paper really improved the quality of the printouts that I got. My new printer is an Epson XP 7100. And it looks like once again I didn't think the Liquitex gesso was covering up well enough, so I'm getting out my super heavy gesso. Now you would think I would learn and I would just start with that from the beginning. So I started out with an acrylic paint pen to fill in the stencil gaps for the green stems, and I didn't like the shade, so then I went back with a pencil. And now I'm going in with some 3D foam tape and just popping up some of the flowers to give it more dimension. At this point, I've stenciled on my title, and I also trimmed out some yellow butterflies, and these are from the Vintage Butterfly Collage Pack. And now I'm just trimming out the words for the journaling. And I'll use some black ink and a little makeup applicator and make the edges around each of those little word blocks black so they'll pop off the page better, and then adhere those down. And now I'm using a black micron pen and I'm just doodling to try to define the flowers a little bit better. I think it really helped the ones on the left because they had less definition. I used my Aleene's tacky glue to glue down all my ephemera today. And that wraps up today's project. I hope you were inspired. You'll find a list of all the products that I used in the description box below the video. Just click the Show More button to expand it so you can see everything. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.